Carole Middleton's story is nothing short of extraordinary, a tale that defies expectations and rewrites the narrative of what it means to be a royal insider. She may not have been born into aristocracy, but her profound influence on the British monarchy is undeniable. While many doubted her place in royal circles, Carole's journey from humble beginnings to becoming a key figure in the royal family shows that destiny is not defined by one's origins. Once dismissed as an outsider, an unassuming flight attendant with no aristocratic blood, living a life far removed from the royal splendor, Carole has proved that true power lies not in titles or lineage but in determination, courage, and vision. How did this ordinary woman manage to challenge centuries-old customs and rise to a position where her actions are now shaping the future of the monarchy? This is a story of resilience, power plays, and a woman who dared to alter the course of royal history. Born to a modest family, Carole Middleton never dreamed of a life entwined with royalty. Her upbringing was far from lavish, and her early years were spent working diligently as a flight attendant, saving every penny to secure a better future for her family. Carole married Michael Middleton, an air traffic controller, and together, they navigated the challenges of building a life outside the realms of nobility. They didn't come from old money, and they didn't have connections to the aristocracy, but they shared a shared ambition to provide their children with opportunities that would allow them to break free from the constraints of their own modest background. As Carole's daughter Catherine, now the Duchess of Cambridge, grew older and began her relationship with Prince William, the Middleton family remained steadfast in their values, embracing the future while respecting tradition. However, the closer Catherine came to her royal destiny, the more Carole found herself at odds with the royal family's rigid traditions. It wasn't long before tensions began to surface, subtle at first, but eventually escalating into a full-blown rift that would leave the monarchy reeling. The world watched in awe as Carole Middleton, once content to play a quiet role, suddenly began to make bold, strategic moves. These were not simple gestures of maternal affection but calculated decisions that sent shockwaves through the royal family. The once reserved Carole, known for her humble demeanor and politeness, began to push back against royal traditions and expectations, particularly in her interactions with Queen Camilla. The turning point came when Carole made her position clear. She was unwilling to allow her daughter Catherine to be molded by the traditional royal expectations set by Queen Camilla. While the Queen Consort tried to shape Catherine's role into a more traditional and reserved one, Carole fiercely defended her daughter's independence. She had raised Catherine to be strong, independent, and capable, and no one, not even the Queen Consort, would change that. Despite being the mother of a future queen, Carole Middleton never allowed the allure of the royal family's power and wealth to overshadow her values. She believed in empowering her children to make their own choices and carve their own paths in the world. Her fierce loyalty to Catherine and her grandchildren drove her to take a stand in a way no one had anticipated. In a bold move that caught everyone off guard, Carole Middleton publicly revealed the tensions that had been simmering for years, causing a media storm and igniting fierce debates about the future of the monarchy. The Middleton family's background was anything but royal. Carole's modest upbringing, far removed from the aristocracy, had always been a source of tension within the royal family. The Middletons didn't have titles, they didn't have centuries of history behind them, and they certainly didn't have the wealth and connections of the royal family. But none of this deterred Carole from ensuring that her children, particularly Catherine, had the opportunities they needed to succeed. As Catherine and William's relationship blossomed, Carole saw herself thrust into the spotlight more and more. She was no longer just the quiet mother-in-law of a future king, she was a woman whose influence was starting to shape the monarchy. Carole Middleton's vision for her family was clear. She wanted them to be more than just a footnote in royal history. She wanted them to be active participants in shaping the future of the British monarchy. The relationship between Carole and Queen Camilla, however, was anything but smooth. While Carole initially tried to remain in the background, it soon became apparent that she had a much more substantial role to play in the royal family's evolution. Queen Camilla, who had spent years navigating the complexities of royal life, was accustomed to her power and influence. But Carole Middleton, with her strong will and devotion to her family, refused to let anyone, including Camilla, diminish her voice or her role. The most shocking moment came when Carole Middleton made a public stand against Queen Camilla's influence over her daughter, Catherine. It was a moment that no one saw coming. For years, Carole had been the supportive mother and grandmother, quietly watching from the sidelines. But now, she was taking matters into her own hands. In a rare and daring move, Carole revealed the ongoing tensions between her and the Queen Consort, sharing details of their private disagreements and sending shockwaves through the royal family. Palace insiders were left scrambling to contain the fallout, as the royal family was plunged into turmoil. For the first time in years, the British monarchy was forced to confront the reality of a powerful, outspoken woman in their midst, one whose actions could potentially reshape the future of the royal family. Prince William, caught between his stepmother and his in-laws, was reportedly furious, while Catherine, deeply affected by the public nature of the dispute, was said to be devastated. In the aftermath of Carole's revelations, the royal family was forced to contend with a growing shift in its internal dynamics. The old guard, represented by Queen Camilla and the traditional royals, found themselves in direct conflict with the new wave of royal influence embodied by Carole Middleton. For the first time in royal history, a member of the family was publicly challenging the established order. This was not just a family dispute, it was a seismic shift that raised critical questions about the monarchy's future. As tensions within the royal family reached a boiling point, it became increasingly clear that the monarchy could no longer operate as it had in the past. The conflict between Carole Middleton and Queen Camilla underscored a generational divide within the family, one that mirrored the larger struggle between tradition and modernity. The royal family had to ask itself, could it evolve to survive in the modern world, or would it remain trapped in its ancient traditions? Carole Middleton's bold stand has opened a Pandora's box, revealing deep fractures within the royal family that many had hoped to keep hidden. Her public defiance has forced the monarchy to grapple with its changing future. Will the royal family be able to adapt and thrive in the face of these new challenges? Or will it cling to outdated traditions and risk being left behind? One thing is certain, Carole Middleton is no longer the quiet, reserved mother-in-law behind the scenes. She has emerged as a force to be reckoned with, a powerful woman whose actions may ultimately determine the future of the British royal family. What are your thoughts on Carole Middleton's bold move against Queen Camilla? Was she right to speak out, or did she cross a line? Leave your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to subscribe for more breaking royal news and insider stories. Stay tuned for updates on the latest developments in the royal family drama.